This is Karen Loshbon, perhaps, and today we're going to once again demonstrate bringing a horse that has a more advanced level of training. This horse is shown through I1 successfully. Karen won her silver medal on the horse and has been trained exclusively by us for some 5 years or so. And we're going to demonstrate how we begin in the same place. This foundation exercises of developing the horse through the top line are something that you do at every level of training. We always come back to it to relieve the tension across the horse's back, and that's how we get horses to be so much more willing to work, because we're letting them out of that tension. So now what we're going to do is Karen's going to bring the horse up, and she's going to bring her all the way into collection, going through the stages of the working trot. One thing that your horse should never lose. Just because it's Grand Prix doesn't mean it's stuck in collected trot. That's very contrary to how one should think about dressage. So there she is in a nice working trot. The horse is still quite flat but nicely engaged, working through her back. Now she's going to sit to the trot and bring the horse on up into collection. Notice he shapes the mane, keeps the same rhythm, and look how the horse begins to elevate. But she's lowering behind. The point is, look how she's lowering behind. The hind leg and the front diagonal pair are still moving on exactly the same step. Very nice. And look how the horse, and this is a horse that as a mover, you know, is not that great a mover by contemporary standards, and she's more of a thoroughbred type horse with not a lot of natural lift. But look, as actually are most of the older breeds like Lusitanos and Lipizzanos and these kinds of horses. So, but we show how through the correct movement you can develop that lift. Beautiful in the collected trot. Now she's going to let the horse stretch again. Let's show you one more time as we go through the whole range of motion. Just like a person, you don't want to go to the gym and just, you know, work half of a muscle. That is, you wouldn't want, if you're doing a bicep exercise, for instance, to just curl it halfway. You'd want to go the full range. Well, why don't we want the horses to do the same thing? We want them to use their full range of muscles, and that's what fully develops their muscles. If you never use the full range of muscles, the horse will never fully develop, and it will never get connected across the top line. So look how beautifully and seamlessly she stretched into the contact again. Beautiful swinging trot behind without any loss of rhythm whatsoever. So let's see this one more time. We're going to let Karen bring her back up into collection through the working trot. A little quicker this time. And all the way back up into collection. Now notice how light the reins are. The horse is now in self-carriage. Notice how loose the curb rein is. When you see people riding and the curb rein is straight back, that's not dressage, folks. That's holding a horse together against your hands. This is what a horse looks like that's correctly trained. It becomes light and in self-carriage. And what a beautiful picture it is. And watch with what ease all she does. She wants to make a downwards transition, for instance, is just stretch up through her back and let her come back to a walk. Beautifully done. And then she lets her stretch back out in the walk. So in all three gaits, as your horse develops, you always come back to the foundation, and then you simply go as high as you can each day, always coming back to that foundation work for your warm-up and your warm-down. And that's our lesson for today.